So, welcome to Gamesthetic. As you can tell, it's not live again this week. So once again, you have John and me and a pre-recording. And yeah, I've been limited. Alex had fun last week with the editing. So, hi.
You know, I know you said we were about to go. I was not prepared for you to just be like, all right, and I'm starting now. I don't know. It's just as soon as you started, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess we're just going.
Yep, we're just going with it, man. Yeah, do check out the Patreon. We got our sponsors, Agent Inc., Rogue Energy. We'll maybe hit them if we remember later. Yeah, I guess that's really all for the intro. The music's not going, so I'm sort of out of it. Well, I said I don't hear the music. You may hear the music, and Alex may add it in. We'll see.
Yeah, there might be. So we don't know right now.
Yep. This is. Yeah, we're just running with it because it's another pre-recorded it's a John and me episode, so we're just gonna ramble for a while.
I didn't ask you this beforehand.
What's that?
But I think I know the answer.
Okay.
Did you watch the Xbox showcase?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Did you?
I watched a trailer.
Just one trailer from it?
One trailer. I watched a trailer. I looked a couple things up.
Okay. Yeah, we're really gonna run off Alex's notes this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. A couple things have happened, but I mean, I wouldn't say anything too substantial.
I mean, no, not really.
So I mean, we'll hit some key points that kind of been laid out for us on that, and we'll just see what happens.
Well, speaking of those key points, we're going to be mentioning, of course, the Xbox Partner Showcase, the wondrous Pokemon leaks that happened at the beginning of this past weekend, Expedition 33 new trailer, Mario Party Jamboree and how well it's doing, and then other random stuff in the weekly wrap-up, and then whatever John and me have to throw in to entertain ourselves for an hour or so. So, what is the one trailer you watched off the Xbox Showcase?
Well, the one trailer I watched this week, I did watch it. I don't know if it was in the showcase. I watched the Expedition 33 trailer.
I don't think that was in the showcase.
That's the one thing I did watch this week, and then I did look a couple things up that were in the showcase because I was curious.
Oh, okay.
But you want to just jump into the showcase?
I mean, might as well.
Probably be fairly quick on it because there's not a whole lot of stuff.
I mean, so from the showcase, we got the Alan Wake 2 trailer for the Lake House DLC. Then we got Chronos: The New Dawn. That is the Blooper Team game that's going to be coming out in 2025. Blind Fire FPS multiplayer is in the dark. I vaguely remember hearing about this. Yeah, and as it stands, still haven't heard anything about it.
No, I kind of want to look at this one though because I see multiplayer in the dark.
It may be called In the Dark now that I'm thinking about it. The multiplayer mode may be called In the Dark.
Why would they call the multiplayer mode something different than the game? We don't know. We don't know. Again, we didn't watch the showcase. So.
This is a pre-recorded episode with John and me. We're very much running on trickles of information.
This is one where, like, sometimes when Alex isn't here, I'll go back and watch some of this stuff so that we can give a little more insight into it. I didn't bother this time.
Yeah, and I've honestly forgot.
Yeah, but I mean. The one thing that in the showcase that you might have cared about would have been the Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I guess getting another trailer. And looks like the release day is bumped up a week.
And then it showed off naval combat and customization, which we got to see a little bit in the original trailer. I mean, I'm happy with that. I mean, it's a week closer now.
Yeah.
I mean, I still need to go back and play Infinite Wealth, but still, it's a Yakuza game. Then we got Mouse P.I. for Hire. It's a black and white cartoon-style action detective game. It's released in 2025. And Alex said it's his game in the showcase because it looks so fun. I mean, just based on that, it sounds interesting. Definitely sounds something in my wheelhouse I would just touch on and see if there's anything interesting.
I haven't seen the full trailer for this. I have seen part of it, just because it showed up in my feed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say this would probably be 100% of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, because I mean, currently I have been messing with the Rain Code Master Detectives Archive thing, so I mean, I can just go back into that. Then we got Subnautica 2 for 2025 for everyone who's still waiting for that.
I did look. This is one of the ones I did look into because I was curious because I saw something about this. Subnautica 2, it's gonna have 4-player online co-op.
Okay.
Which I saw that and I was like, I might actually like if I have someone to play this with, I might actually play this game.
Yeah.
I didn't play Subnautica. I don't necessarily like underwater exploration games.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like I don't necessarily like them just because, as much as I know it's not necessarily, to me it's the same thing as a horror game.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't like that vibe. But if there's other people that I can play with, I'm more likely to actually play it.
I mean, you can play with my father. I know he's going to be interested in Subnautica 2. He played the hell out of Subnautica.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he got really into Subnautica. Animal Whale's going to be coming to Xbox. Animal Whale's still doing fantastic on Steam, so moving over to more platforms is absolutely wonderful for that game. Eden Zero 2025, an action RPG based off the manga anime Eden Zero, I can only assume, seeing as Alex once again asked, why does this look okay compared to Fairy Tail? But then I asked the question again, is who asked for this?
I don't know. This is the same thing like when the second Fairy Tail game got announced. Like this is coming from someone who platinumed the first Fairy Tail game that came out.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it, so I don't know why they made it, and I can't like fathom that it was that popular. So I don't know why they made that. So maybe they're just hoping. Maybe they got a low bar for these games.
I mean, they're pumping them out, so they're getting something because there's also that Fairy Tales Dungeons games that's on Steam.
Yeah, I mean they must be seeing, or maybe they're hoping that if they put some of these out, they'll hit a franchise or something that resonates with people really well.
Yeah. Then we got Internal Strands. I may say that one wrong. It's a action adventure game slated for 2025.
I'm probably gonna look into that. I don't know anything about it other than the name, but I like the name.
I mean, the name's nice. It's got a nice ring. Then we got Mistfall Hunter 2025, which I'd be wanting to get a glance at that because all it makes me think of is Redfall.
That's terrible.
It's got that same vibe because it just makes me think of a misty town hunting vampires or some other supernatural creature. Wheel World, with no context, I would assume it's a vehicle game based on that name. I would hope. Phasmophobia coming to console. The Legend of Babu. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Then FBC Firebreak, a 3-player co-op experience in the Control Alan Wake universe. Remedyverse at this point. Interesting.
That sounds cool.
That actually sounds like it'd be very entertaining, depending on how they do that. Because both Control and Alan Wake are fantastic games, each with their own aesthetics and everything, considering no one for the longest time had any clue that Control was part of that same universe till the DLC.
What was the name of that again?
Which one?
That one we're talking about.
FBC Firebreak. I assume the FBC is abbreviated, and Alex just didn't give us the full name. I mean, as John looks that up, I mean, just reading down this list, not having seen the Watch the Showcase or even scrummed through it. I mean, the most interesting one for me, just in terms of names, would be probably the Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, just because I'm very much into that If it is the style like Wuxin style stuff and like that, I'm very much into that style of game. So I'd be very much look into finding out more about what that is. Seeing as I was really excited for Wo Long whenever that was a thing, and turned out actually very solid. Other than that, of course, Like a Dragon for me, Mouse PI is someone interesting may look into. Then maybe Chronos the New Dawn, see what the Blooper team's up to, because I can only assume that would be somehow time or maybe ancient lore related, seeing it's using the name Chronos.
Yeah, FBC Firebreak looks pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I also looked up Eternal Strands.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna play that one actually. It doesn't look bad. It's just it.
Does it look like Babylon Fall?
I don't know what that looked like really. I know it wasn't good. No, I mean Eternal Strands looks fine. It's just it's a lot more colorful and effects happening than I
Than you initially expected.
than I yeah. It's like as I mean, when it gets closer to time, I may change my opinion on that.
It's not RuneScape color palette.
No, it's more of just it's not the art style I was anticipating in my head.
Oh, okay.
So it's thrown me off. I may watch it again in a week and think it's perfectly fine. But it's not what I was picturing.
Okay. Well, and that is everything that was announced in the Xbox showcase. Definitely a bunch of interesting titles. Unfortunately, from what information we got here, left by Alex, most of it's either currently unannounced dates or looking into 2025. So nothing to look forward to for holidays.
Yeah, which is, I mean, kind of weird because like even a few months ago when we were waiting on or with the Xbox showcase, we were like, we need some stuff. We need like you got to show me something to make me believe you can do something.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's a little disappointing that everything is still a year out.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, I get you've been working on stuff. I get you got some cool stuff on the way. Why is it all got to be 2025? Everything's got to be 2025 or 2026.
I was about to say, besides multiplayer games, there's nothing really looking forward to Xbox-wise holiday season, at least for me personally, besides Inquisition. Yeah. Not Inquisition, Veilguard.
The Veilguard.
Veilguard.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, some of these games, like we said, they're gonna be 2025. They look, I mean, for the most part, a couple of these look really interesting. Mm-hmm. Like you got a couple there. FPC Firebreak looks really really cool. Subnautica 2 might actually get into. Depends on if I can.
I mean, you can probably convince one of our online friends to play with you.
Yeah, it's one where it probably won't be a hard sell especially because it's one of those where every couple months you looking for a new co-op game or something to play. But yeah, because by that time probably be tired of playing Deadlock all the time.
Speaking of Deadlock, how do you feel about the Mirage?
Not for me.
Okay.
Not for me. I've tried them a couple times. I mean, it's one of those where I still haven't seen a Mirage pop off. I've seen clips and videos of them going crazy,
but not one in game.
It's like I haven't seen one in game that is felt threatening yet.
Yeah,
I know that when I come across one, I'm gonna be like, okay, I need to maybe I should learn this hero. But it hasn't happened yet. I played him a couple times, and I thought I would enjoy his play style, but it's not necessarily one that I enjoy that much.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play him myself, but seeing him played, I mean, he definitely seems interesting in terms of kit mechanics, but definitely not my initial go-to either.
Yeah, I'm actually on I've kind of been on a rotation of characters in Deadlock where like I started really enjoying like Wraith and Seven.
Okay.
And then I moved away from them and I was playing primarily primarily Bebop. I was playing some Infernus and that. And now I've kind of moved back to where I'm enjoying playing like I found a new build on 7 that I really enjoy. I started playing some Grey Talon again. I'm back like putting Abrams in my pool.
I didn't realize you played Grey Talon.
It's one where I was enjoying it I was enjoying it until I found Bebop.
Oh, okay.
And then it was less fun than Bebop for the time, but then I've kind of found some enjoyment with 7 again. Played Grey Talon a few times, and then I put a few games on Abrams, and I'm starting to put Dynamo in my pool.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily have the most fun with Dynamo for a while because I've been getting my ass kicked, but I always end up saving the game.
I mean, Dynamo's solid once you can position them and play them well.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I've been usually every time I end up with them, I'm getting stomped.
Okay.
And then it's one where, I'm getting beat up on, I'm getting bullied all game, and then I'm like, you know what? Would you just give me 25 minutes? Give me 25 minutes, and I'm gonna turn 5 team fights in a row on you, and we're just gonna roll you.
There you go.
And that's kind of been my pattern so far. Is I get destroyed early, and I come back and I win the game by just getting those 5-6 man ults.
Yes. Which are phenomenal. It's very funny if you can get a Paradox to throw you in the middle of their team.
Yeah, I think the last game I played on Dynamo, it was basic. I was just an ult bot essentially.
Okay.
I had Fleetfoot to run around faster. I had Warpstone to teleport in. I had Refresher to double ult.
Okay.
And then I had Return Fire, which is like one of my new favorite items. I've just started buying it, and it's so fun.
Is Return Fire like a Thornmail?
It's an active item where you during the duration of it, you return 60% of bullet damage you receive and 30% spiritual damage you receive.
Oh, nice.
So I would just pop that to run while I ran forward so that I could jump in and catch everyone.
See, one of the dumb things I'd love to do is run a lane with a Paradox Bebop just to really mess with some people. Just Paradox ult into Bebop grab.
Oh yeah, there was me and one of my buddies, we would for a while we were like one of the most fun lanes we had was Bebop McGinnis.
I could see that.
So I would just
pull him back into tower hell.
I'd pull him in, he would wall him off, and it was just
I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah,
unless your character can fly, you're pretty fucked.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that. But I've kind of not necessarily fallen out of love with Bebop, but I'm taking a break. Because as it turns out, there's only so many games in a row I can just enjoy pulling people in before I'm like, okay, I gotta do something else a little bit. It's getting a bit monotonous. It's like, yeah, it's still giddy fun when you pull someone halfway across the map, but doing that once a game isn't making up for the rest of it.
No.
But yeah, Bebop's still fun. I'm just having fun with Big Ball 7.
I mean, hey, it's a glowing target, but everyone can't shoot him down half the time because he deals a shit ton of damage.
Well, no, like his lightning ball he throws out, I put everything on it. Put everything on it.
I mean, that makes sense too.
So, so that it's just, I can, and unless they come in and get me, they cannot push me out.
That's fair. All right. Well, going off that, we should talk about Agent Inc. You can go check out our stuff at Agent Inc. We got jerseys, we got hats. You can go get our Sparky 3, Gamesthetic, and a Terrible Football Show. And if you really want to, our Dead AniMan Show shirt, which it may come back eventually. But hey, we got a jersey. It looks nice. It's pretty. We don't got a code. It is Agent Inc. They are a fantastic website and fantastic store for us and every other content creator on there. Go check them out. mean,
Yeah. So you didn't actually watch the Expedition 33 trailer.
I've watched Jack All this week. I've been strictly mostly Metaphor and Zenless. Everything else is taken a back burner.
Yeah. I watched the trailer. I forgot about it until Alex called me a couple days ago and reminded me of it, and I immediately watched it.
Okay.
I mean, the trailer looks good. I mean,
Did we get any more gameplay stuff, or is it just more or less game
I think
overview?
it was more kind of the first part of it was more like more of kind of story stuff, like showing you characters and
Okay.
dialogue happening. And the second part of the trailer was what got everybody excited,
The cast?
which was it jumping between showing you the characters and then showing you who they got to voice it.
Okay.
It was like character name pop on screen and then voice actor's name, and it was they got a hell of a cast. For
I mean,
this.
from my understanding, when Alex talked to me, it's a pretty stacked cast. So, from what we got from the trailer, it's officially set for spring of this year. Or no, spring of next year. Sorry. I'm bad with dates now. 30 plus hours of main story gameplay and 30 plus hours of side content. Going to be coming in at a $50 price point,
That is the most
which is
exciting thing
wild.
about this.
which is absolutely wild with current state of being.
Yeah, I saw the price point. It was like $49.99. I was like, oh, they are setting this game up for as much success as they possibly can.
Dan hopes. Then, speaking of the biggest pop off of it, was the English voice cast very specifically for us. So, our MC of the game is being voiced by Charlie Cox, who was the main character in Daredevil. Ben Starr of Final Fantasy 16 MC, who fantastic job with that game. Cannot say that enough.
Yeah.
Jennifer English from Baldur's Gate 3.
Which I believe she voiced Shadowheart.
Yes, that is Shadowheart's voice actress. Andy Serkis, Lord of the Rings, Black Panther.
That's the one that came up, and I was like, really?
Yeah, no, that one's sort of wild. I'm going to be honest. That one and Charlie Cox was pretty surprising.
Yeah.
And we have Christy Ryder from Sandman. And then, gonna possibly butcher this one, Shala Nix from The Old Guard.
Yeah. I mean, I was already sold on this game just from like the brief trailer or
Oh,
like
same.
the reveal trailer we got from it from months ago.
Yeah.
It was already like potentially my most anticipated game of next year. This cast list comes out and you go, okay, so not only does it just look like a fantastic game, we're going to have one of the best
Exceptional
voice acted
acting.
games that's going to come out.
See, Alex messaged me about this whenever this all came out, and the voice acting thing. I mean, this isn't even in the same realm. But all I could think is when he was telling me, he's like, "God, I hope this isn't going to be similar to Rocky City."
I actually had the same thought because before I saw the cast list, I was seeing titles for articles pop up being like, "Look at all the names in this game," and I was like, "Oh no, they spent all the money on the cast." But then it's like the little bit that we do see, it's like, no, this looks like it's going to be an incredible game.
Which
I believe we did get a little bit of gameplay stuff, but it was that trailer was much more. Look at our cast.
Because I believe the previous trailer was actually a bit more gameplay in depth from that we got a couple months back. But I mean, I'm saying with you, since it was announced back at Game Awards, wasn't it?
I believe so.
I mean, the concept of it has seemed fantastic. The overall aesthetic and setting of the world looks fantastic. The bit of story we have of knowledge looks absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be honest. I mean, in terms of when I think of it, looks to me almost like a Elden Ring art style RPG. Similar aesthetics in my mind.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
good.
would say until you start seeing some of the stuff like effects that happen in combat, then outside of that, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, just based off the original trailer.
Yeah,
I mean, actually going into the gameplay and stuff, it does look significantly different and fantastic. I mean, I'm still very much curious about the whole quick action combat we've seen and stuff like that, because that's still my biggest thing about it is what is the actual combat and gameplay flow going to be.
From the little we've seen, it looks like what I get from it is like turn-based combat with
QTs.
I wouldn't call it QTEs necessarily, more of timing based. Not like timing based, not necessarily like you hit an attack and it pops up, hit X button now with like a little thing that circles down.
I mean, so like Paper Mario combat? You haven't played Paper Mario, I forget.
Yeah, I would almost say like turn-based combat with rhythm elements for increased effects.
Okay.
Would be my description of it. But that's just the way my brain processes it.
I mean, to be fair, overall, this game just looks fantastic, and just them releasing the voice actors for this game that, as of now, for the main set of casts we're going to be running with, just continues to add on how fantastic the game looks. Excuse me. And yeah, that's just as far as we're aware, just the main part of the cast. Who knows what other names they have behind other characters and whatnot they haven't revealed yet.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling that like if this should be the game that like as we get closer to the release, this should be a game that gets its like a showcase built around it.
I would hope so, depending on how. I mean, as it says, we're looking at a 60+ hour game, give or take. So I mean, it's not first party, right?
I don't believe so.
I don't believe it is either. So I mean, would find it hard that we're going to get a showcase unless the developers themselves choose to do one, like a freelance one.
Well, it's that, or I mean, it could be one of those where like a Summer Game Fest or a Game Awards or something like that, a showcase is kind of there, and it could be like the capstone. This is the big thing that everybody's looking for. This is the big reason for the showcase.
I gotcha.
Type thing. Like there should be a showcase done by someone where this
Takes a focal point.
As of right now, this is the game for next year that it's like, well, the game that's not GTA. That should be like, this is the big keystone thing that everybody should be paying attention to.
Yes. Because, I mean, I can't say that. I was going to say, what's the latest big like RPG? But we've actually had quite a number of RPGs come over the last couple years that took significant spotlights.
Yeah. This should take the spotlight that Starfield had. Because Starfield had the main spot in like 6 showcases.
You say that, but all I could think is no.
I'm saying what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
This should be in that position.
Yes, I completely understand you. My brain immediately just went, but no, I don't want to put Starfield and Expedition 33 together. I understand what you're saying. It's just in my mind.
I would have replaced Starfield with it.
Oh man,
that game's still a shit show.
Everyone's enjoying Starfield. I'm glad you are.
But
from the outside looking in, it's not great.
It's not. I mean, I was one of the people going into it that said I had no expectations for it, and I'm glad I had those opinions. I went into it when I did go to play it. I went into it hoping I was wrong. But yeah, for people that are enjoying it, it's good on you. Everybody should have that game they enjoy. And like I said, I have a feeling that in 2 to 3 years, Starfield is going to be a fantastic game.
I don't know, man. I didn't even get through the opening of it.
Well, that's what I said. It's like they're going to sit on it. It's like they're going to continue to update this game. They've said they're going to update this game for years.
Well, no, I just mean it may not be for me because I'm being honest. When I started playing Starfield, I didn't get past the initial opening scene of the attack on the base because it finished and I immediately went, I don't know why I'm playing this.
Yeah. Well, I'm hopeful that enough that they spend the time on it to make you have the desire to want to play the game again. I'm fully hoping that, or fully expecting that, like I said, 2 years from now, like I'll look at Starfield and go, I need to go back and play that game, and actually go back and play it and have a great time.
And hopefully that you're able to have that.
I'm hoping that happens. I'm expecting it to happen. As of right now, no. I have no desire to go back to the game.
That's fair. Well, got anything else for Expedition 33?
No, just wait. Look, I mean, I know we just got some information, but I'm looking for the. I'm looking forward to the in-depth
Oh, most definitely.
showcase of it.
Whenever, we get a full in-depth gameplay flow, and all that fun stuff that I'm personally looking forward to. And then hopefully more exposition on the exact story and what our crew will be going through.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I'm actually more excited to see that than the gameplay.
You know what's funny? Because of the whole setting of the story of Expedition 33, all I can think of is, which I hope they'll put in somewhere as there's flavor text somewhere, is like, what age year was it that finally decided, hey, we need to go figure out what this is and stop it? What age year do you think that was?
I don't know. I can only imagine that's going to be in there.
I would very much hope so for just lore and historic sakes, because all we know is it's at least been going since 36, and I assume a little bit before that. But what number did it start? Did it start at like 100 and then start clocking down? Because I could see for like the first maybe 5 or 6 years, people don't pay attention of these people that are disappearing who are old and at that great big age of over 90. So at what age do you think the expedition actually started? Because I would feel like maybe like 90, maybe early 80s, but it hopefully wouldn't send those old people.
Yeah, it would take a few years where they're like, wait a second, we got to look into this.
It's like, what's happening to all these people?
Yeah, I very much hope that it's a game that like they don't necessarily try to bombard you with some of that information.
Yeah.
I would love some of that to be like, say you're exploring a house or a library or something, you come across some text or something.
Oh, yeah.
That like
a previous expedition or something?
Yeah, like a previous expedition. Like, it's not necessarily in your... Some of it's going to be in your face. Yeah. That's going to be the nature of the game. But I'd love for a lot of that detail to just be like, you search a bookcase and some text pops up on screen, and it's like the lore that's there for if you want to read it.
Yeah, I'm very much... This is one of those few RPG games where I'll be actually very excited to actually stop and pick up little bits of lore throughout the game.
Yeah, I'll be very happy if that's the case.
Yes. Well, going from Expedition 33, how about we take an expedition for some more rogue energy? And with our code, Sparky3, you can get 10% off, get you some tubs, some cans, maybe some single packs of the 2.0 formula. And if you haven't tried it yet and it seems interesting, the Dragon Fruit Lemonade. Was that it? No, that's not right.
I think that was.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Dragon Fruit Lemonade tub, energy tub that just came out the past week or two. Still need to go pick up the strawberry banana at some point. But yeah, check out Rogue Energy. We all enjoy drinking it. I mostly enjoy the energy tubs. Alex raves about the cans and the black cherry lemonade. What do you prefer, John? Actually, out of curiosity.
I think mostly kind of enjoy the cans, just because I enjoy the pick up and go.
That's fair.
I have some tubs at the house, but when I do go get Rogue or like order Rogue, I tend to order cans because I like
just the grab and go in the morning.
I love the grab and go.
That's fair. That's sort of how I feel about it.
I've always been more of a fan of like grab and go. I don't mind having the tubs. Like I said, I got a couple at the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I prefer cans.
Okay. Yeah. Use our code Sparky3, or if there's a better code, by all means use that. And if you can at least use our link, it does help out a lot. Thanks. And finally, we've hit all the main topics. So what you done this week, John?
Well, I have continued my Dark Souls.
Oh, good.
I've played a bit more. I haven't played a ton more of it, just because for the first half of the week when I was coming home, I was playing a lot of Deadlock with some buddies,
That's fair.
and been enjoying that. I've gotten back into Inkbound a little bit.
Okay.
I've talked about that game previously. It's a roguelike game. Enjoy that. It's like there's updates here and there, but sometimes it's like whenever I go back to it,
Yeah.
it's like it's like very enjoyably fun. Like it's a roguelite that like you sometimes you just stumble across stuff. Me and a buddy were doing a co-op run the other day, and there's sections, or there's like one of the routes you can take in it. You get the option for making they call it making a powerful choice,
Okay.
where you get three options where it's like you gain a bunch of money, but for the next several combats you take increased damage. But the more interesting one is I forget what the downside is, but part of the game is you like each different class or character has their three abilities unique to them,
Okay.
and then there's other abilities in the game that you get two more abilities that you can have that you just get as you like go through the beginning of a run.
Okay.
And you can re-roll them sometimes, but when you get in the higher difficulties, you get less currency to re-roll them.
Okay, that's fair.
And part of the game is ascending those abilities. So each one has like I think 4 unique ways to ascend it.
Okay.
And the character I was playing, their third ability is just a big. It's a character with a hammer.
Okay.
And their third ability is just called Smash. It's just a big nuke.
Okay.
It's a big nuking hit, like your highest damage, most expensive ability. And I chose the thing to ascend a random ability, and it ascended it to where it does way less damage,
Okay.
but for every stack of burn on them, it does more damage.
Oh,
so it's like,
cool.
I think it was like an extra like 40 damage or something per burn stack. I wasn't planning on using that. I don't usually choose to use that.
Yeah.
But that's what it got ascended to. But my buddy was already planning on playing a burning build.
Okay.
So he was stacking burn. So it just turned into probably the highest hits I've ever done in the game.
So equivalently, it was just the combat went. He marks a target, and you go and make them explode.
Well, so we actually had a pretty crazy combo for it because he had a thing where like he had a legendary aspect, which is like the first ability he uses in a turn he can just keep using.
Okay.
So he would stack a whole bunch of burn on the biggest target,
Yeah.
and then he had an ascended ability for his lightning bolt that applies a condition called shocked,
Okay.
which makes a portion of the damage that you do to that person affect everyone.
Okay.
So he would just stack a whole bunch of burn, apply shocked,
Shock.
and then I had a thing where I had an ability where it just doubled the damage of my next ability.
Okay.
So I would double my next hit and then hit the big target and everything on the
And
screen
just clear
would
the board.
explode. So it was a pretty fun combo, and it ended up being probably the highest single hit that I've done in that game so far.
Nice.
But yeah, so got into that, been playing some of that. But then yeah, continued my Dark Souls run.
Still enjoying it?
Yes, I've got to change. I think last time we talked, I told you I was playing with like this Y hand or something. I've swapped off that now. I'm using like I don't remember what it's called. It's like
It's still
Black
a two-hand?
Soldier sword or something. It's just another big sword that I have. But using that, I was half considering bumping up my strength a bunch.
Okay.
Because I've got a couple weapons that are just like I think I have one weapon. I don't remember what it's called, but it takes like 46 strength to wield.
Okay.
And I was like, it might be fun to smack something with. But yeah, last time we talked, I was like just entering into Blight Town.
Yes, you mentioned that after your first time getting lost there.
But yeah, I went through there. I've cleared it out. I don't know what any of the bosses. I don't remember what any of their names are. But the boss in there was like a lady, like the top half of a lady with a spider body that breathed fire.
Okay.
It's like beat her, went back into the woods, and there was a big dog with a sword.
Yeah.
Probably the boss I died to the most. I think that one took me like 7 tries, just because I kept getting hit by the same stupid move.
Couldn't get the timing down initially.
It was one where just for whatever reason I could not get the timing down. It was like he would just spin around in a circle with the sword, and I could, for the life of me, could not figure out the timing of it. Got him down, and then I think I opened up a gate that was locked earlier, so I can go to a new area. But I think I've cleared out every boss that I can right now.
I would not be the one to ask, but I mean, as long as you don't see any hulking giants walking around, I mean, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah, I think I've cleared everything that I can so far. I did some running around earlier, and I couldn't find anywhere that I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
So I've got. I'm headed into a new area now. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. It's still fun. Looking forward to finishing it so I can move on to Dark Souls 3.
Okay. You know what? So I haven't messed with a whole lot, as I mentioned before. I've mostly just been doing Metaphor this week. Still enjoying Metaphor very much. Definitely a different feel to Persona overall, for me at least. Still been enjoying that, though, the overall story arcs, the characters. It has been a different feel with the slow burn in terms of getting teammates, because at this point in time, I still only have 4 characters.
How many? Do you know how many you can get in the game?
Alex does. From my little knowledge, I believe it's 6 playable characters. I could be wrong on that, though, because I actually haven't looked into it. More or less, my Metaphor looking knowledge was, if it was an official trailer, I didn't bother looking into it.
Yeah, so you're just trying to go into it kind of blind.
Yes. But yeah, been very interesting with all the different character storylines and whatnot in this fantasy world, with all the different tribes and whatnot. Still very much enjoying it. Just maxed out the follower bond with our merchant friend, who literally sells igniters, which is the game's equivalent of like magic weapons. People equipped igniters so they can use magic.
Okay.
And she's an arms dealer, and she sends me money.
Okay.
And provides me arms. She is one of the best archetype classes you unlock. The 2 archetype classes she unlock is Merchant and Tycoon, in which both of them, they don't have normal attacks. You quite literally throw money at enemies.
Okay.
It's literally called gold attack, and you use money to throw at people.
Yeah.
And then there's debt collection. Fantastic classes. It is very much the equivalent of just being a rich person in the game. It's just throwing your money to kill people throughout the game. Very much enjoyed that, especially since my normal thing is I just kill everything in a dungeon, and half the equipment I don't use, so I just sell it, so I just rack up money.
Yeah.
And which I didn't mean to do it, but to try and farm some of the virtue stats, I discovered that with her little thing, she'll send you 15,000 coins, which, I mean, isn't a whole lot in terms of the game, but possibly every morning there's a chance. And you can save scum it if you really want to. So you can just reload to the previous night until she sends you money in the morning if you want to. Definitely not the quickest way to farm money, but I mean, hey, if you got the time during the free days.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's one way. It's like, there's no effort.
Yeah. Besides that, I've been enjoying playing through the new content for Zenless Zone Zero's second half of 1.2 with the introduction of Bernice White. You haven't kept up with Zenless at all, right?
Not really.
So yeah, they released just a very meme trailer for her. It's sort of ridiculous. Added story stuff, some extra missions, a little bit of stuff here and there, more or less doing the most normal in-game content grind. And then a game that we've both played actually released an update, not this week, but the week before. Another zombie survival game.
Oh, yet another zombie survivor?
Yeah, it did finally updated with 1.7 last week.
I haven't messed with that game in a while.
I only happened to notice it because I was strolling through Steam this morning and it said, "Hey, games you have that recently updated." I saw them and I was like, "They're not dead," because their last update was like in April.
I was gonna say, I mean, is it any significant update?
Yes, it's a complete overhaul of the tree thing you would put money into. Better synergies, but actual synergies between units and whatnot. Upgrade paths, also everything, this stuff like that. So it's a very significant overhaul of systems.
I may check it out. I think the main problem, or not necessarily problem, main thing I had with that game was, of those style games.
Yeah.
There's that one, Vampire Survivors,
Yep.
Soulstone Survivors, and of that genre of games, Soulstone Survivors is far and
Your
away
favorite,
my
yeah.
favorite one. And so it's like when I play one, even knowing that it's like it's in development, it's not got a whole lot to it yet. Yet another zombie survivor is just so much slower paced.
It is.
Like in comparison, which was nice at first, but then like when you're kind of going through it, trying to grind money out and get stuff so you can get all the upgrades and that, I was like, man, this shit goes slow.
Yeah. And I mean, as I said, I just noticed this today, so I haven't tried it yet. I just re-downloaded it. But I mean, it did say the update was more or less a fairly general overhaul of systems in general. So I was going to mess with it and see if that part's changed at all. But I mean, they did address a lot of quality of balance stuff and like the whole some stats capped. They were just like, yeah, we removed that. We now just put a diminishing return once you get so much far of a threshold, but you can still stack it if you want.
Yeah. I'd probably between now and when we do the next episode, I'll probably check it out.
I mean, it's a good game just to do a run or two, just to kill time if you have it in the evening.
Yeah, because I've recently gone back and when I got my Steam Deck, I went back and I was playing Deep Rock Survivor.
Okay, yeah.
And go back and play at it because it was more like it was fine when I played it the first time. I've actually been enjoying it now.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think I gave it a fair shot the first time.
I thought you sort of enjoyed it the first time.
I enjoyed it, but it was when we're like, at the time, I didn't feel like grinding out another one of those games.
That's fair.
I've kind of been in the mood for it recently, so I've been playing that some. I need to actually go back and check out Soulstone Survivors. I think it's been updated since the last time I played it, and I do enjoy that genre of games quite a bit. I've got 5 or 6 different ones that I've bought now.
I was about to say, there's 2 or 3 that I have that I enjoy. That, as I mentioned, whenever I just feel like doing a time killer, I usually go to one of those.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I was talking to you before the show. I have jumped on the train with everyone else, and I have been running my own card shop.
Yep. TGC Card Simulator.
I've been playing TCG Card Shop Simulator or some. It's pretty close to what it's called.
Yeah.
I've been playing that. I kind of just bought it on a whim earlier today.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fairly cheap game. It's $12.
Yeah, I'd seen people playing it, but I hadn't looked at it or anything. Looked at Steam, I was like, oh, this game's $12, like $12 or $13. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It is strangely addicting.
For some real weird reason, it is.
It is it is very fun. I'm still in the stage like I don't have like employees or anything yet. My shop is just starting to earn like a decent amount of money every day where like I'm actually profitable
Yeah.
and not like in debt every day or like spending as much money as I make every day just to restock the store.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. I'm probably gonna go home and play it some more and then play it tomorrow. Yeah, it is very fun to play.
That has been very much a game to watch people play and just see more or less one or two reactions. One, open a card shop and becoming a card gremlin and go bankrupt, or get your shop profitable and then become a card gremlin and just be opening packs all day.
Yeah, that's the path I'm gonna take. Yeah, I told Zach for it. I'm just now starting to where I'm like, I'm gonna start opening a few packs every day or something. I haven't really been doing it that much. But yeah, it's been fun because but man, the customers in that game, they will walk up and buy a $2 card sleeve from you and give you $150. It is the wildest thing how people like how in that game they will pay for stuff.
The other wild thing in that game, which still confuses me, is the whole 50-cent change slot.
Yeah,
My brain just doesn't want to accept it.
I wasn't ready for that at first. I like just it took me a while to actually start using it
Yeah.
because I just wasn't I'm not trained to think there's a 50-cent piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is very fun. There's something very satisfying about just like because I'm still rearranging my store every day.
Yeah.
I haven't bought like expansion very many. I've bought like the first expansion. I haven't done a whole lot with it. It just opened up a little corner slot for me. So I'm still like rearranging in places to try to put things down to get people in and out to try to make as much money as I can early on.
Yeah.
But yeah, very fun. If you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, I haven't played it myself, but just something about it. It's very compelling to just drag people in to very much sell and stock cards for hours on end before you realize it.
Yeah, I like going into it. I thought it might be a bit tedious, and then the next thing you know, you'll be sitting there trying to like in between people coming up wanting you to scan all their items. You'll just be looking like, oh shit, I'm out of yellow deck boxes, and you're trying to order stuff before the line gets too big and everything. And it's just there's something very satisfying about it.
Yes. One of the other things I dabbled into this week, I messed with TFT. They're currently actually running a revival event of set 5.5 or set 5. But this is a revamp, so it's 5.5, which was the Forsaken set with the Hellions, Sentinels, Forsaken.
I didn't play that set.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you played set 5 or not. That was during the whole, what's his name? Viego? The Forsaken King.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he released. It was the set that came out with him when they did the whole Forsaken set events and everything across all of Riot's stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I took a couple set break after I set 3 or 4, and then came back with I think it was it 6 or 7 that Arcane was. Because that's when I came back and we both got really into it.
I want to say that was set 7.
Yeah, that was my return to TFT.
Yes, because it was 7, because I got into the Forsaken set and then skipped set 6, which I think was like the beach set.
Yeah, and then set 7 we both got really into.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's fun. I mean, it's a nice throwback set of set 5. I mean, they're running a whole special event where it's normal play, just with set 5 with some special rules of things that happen at specific rounds. You get special experience points for the sets event that get you rewards and allows you to choose skills, which lets you earn more points towards finishing it faster. So, I mean, it's just a nice little throwback event.
Yeah.
Since we're currently in set 12.
Yeah. Nice to see some of that happen every now and then.
Along with current special legend gotchas is T1 Oriana and Star Guardian Akali.
Speaking of League, if anybody wasn't aware, or if you haven't, or if you have been, League of Worlds has been going on for like the last month. It is the one time of year that I start paying attention to League again, and yeah, been watching it and enjoying it.
Yeah, you were telling me a North American team's managed to make it all to quarters.
It's the knockout stage right now. They
Oh,
made
okay.
it. They made it through Swiss.
Gotcha.
So yeah, right now is knockout stage. I think there's one or two series left to play in knockout stage. I don't remember how many there were. But yeah, today was this morning was T1 versus Top Esports. Pretty fun to watch. So I will be keeping up with that. Like I said, I don't keep up with League anymore, but Worlds is the one time of year where I like actively keep up and pay attention to what's going on. So, and it's been fun.
I mean, it usually is. Can't go wrong with finishing stuff because, I mean, I don't keep up with Valorant very often, but whenever Valorant Worlds comes up, I start watching Valorant professional again.
I don't think I've ever watched anything Valorant.
I got into it like a couple years back. I happened to catch their second major tournament and just watch it from that on to their Worlds. Because they have like 3 major tournaments plus their Worlds tournament.
Yeah. It's kind of like throughout the year, every now and then I'll catch a fighting game tournament. But when Evo comes around, you bet your ass I'm a fighting game fan.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man.
I'll have 7 streams up.
Speaking of Evo, there was I happened to catch just an independent tournament of just a random fighting game, which I believe it was actually Grand Blue, not versus the previous Grand Blue. And I forget some of the characters in that because it was a match with someone playing Charlotte, which this is like a very young princess, or I don't know the actual character lore in that Grand Blue, but her character model is like this tall. And the person they were fighting against was playing a fucking character whose name I can't remember, who was literally 3 times that character model size. The Charlotte won, and I was like, I feel for the other guy, because I don't know where Charlotte's hitboxes are either. Because we have a giant, and then Charlotte's down here, like at her ankles. But her hitboxes are apparently normal zones. But you can't tell where her attacks hitboxes are or where her hitboxes are. I was like, fuck that. And any kind of fighting game, fuck that. Oh, man. Overall, it was a very independent tournament to watch, though. Because I've never caught a Grand Blue tournament before.
I think I've only watched a little bit of Grand Blue.
Versus or actual Grand or fantasy?
Versus, I believe.
Okay.
It's not one that I don't know. I kind of lose track because
No, wait, that's wrong. It is versus because versus is the fighting game one, and I can't remember what the most recent one is. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. I mean, the main fighting games I kind of keep up with is it's not in the same exact genre, but I used to keep up with a lot of Smash. I still do a little bit.
Yeah.
But I primarily keep up with Tekken, and it used to be I would watch a lot of Mortal Kombat. I kind of enjoy watching Mortal Kombat 1, but it's one where
Mortal Kombat 1's weird to watch sometimes.
it's the same problem I've had with the past couple Mortal Kombat games where like you watch it and it's like watching pools is kind of fun, but like halfway through pools, like it's still fun to watch like when it gets later in.
Yeah.
But it's like you halfway through pools, you're like, I have watched the same 4 characters do the same 2 combos for the last 4 hours. And it's like that's just the way the game is. It's exciting when you start watching it, but I kind of lose interest in it like halfway through pools.
Yeah.
And then I usually come back for later, like the later stages of the tournaments, like top 16. But yeah, and then funny enough, I've never been into watching Street Fighter. Street Fighter 6 I enjoy watching.
I mean, I enjoy watching Street Fighter 6 too. There's a lot going on in a Street Fighter 6 match though.
Yeah, it's like I never got into watching like I couldn't watch Street Fighter 4. I never enjoyed watching Street Fighter 5. I just never found it interesting. Street Fighter 6 is crazy. So I've had fun watching that. And then but I will say of all of the fighting games I've gotten like I've enjoyed watching the last year, fucking Guilty Gear Strive.
Strive is very fun to watch at high level.
Possibly the most fun, and because like Tekken's hype,
Yeah.
but Guilty Gear's different. I've never played it. It looks way complicated. I've watched some in-depth videos that break down matches.
Yeah.
That shit is complicated, but man, is it hype.
Oh, Strive at high level is fantastic to watch.
I love watching it.
It's like watching a Sifu speedrun.
It's fantastic to watch. It's been. I started watching it last year, and it very quickly rose up as like if I catch tournaments going on, I'll watch a little bit of Street Fighter. I'll watch some Tekken, but I'll usually just be like, I'll come back to Tekken. I'll come back to Tekken when we get to top 8, or something. I could watch from pools to top 8 to grand finals of Strive. I don't know what it is. It's possibly the most fascinating one to watch right now.
See, my sort of what I just really enjoy watching would be Under in Birth.
I've watched a little bit of that one. That one I get lost in. As in, like, I find a hard time keeping up.
I could see that. I mean, I just overall enjoy just watching it. It's very entertaining for me to watch Under in Birth Night, even though I have a hard time with the title.
Yeah, watching that was kind of like trying to watch Blaze Blue for me. It's confusing.
There's a lot going on.
It's confusing. That one, it's just crazy. There's a lot happening.
Meanwhile, in the fighting community the last couple months, Justin Wong's being a menace in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Have you seen any of that?
No.
Justin Wong apparently just took up Lego on Marvel vs. Capcom 2 when it released in the collection HD. Just doing his thing and just tormenting everyone online.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was kind of his game.
Yeah. Just flexing on everybody. It's been entertaining watching his videos and then other people's compilation of getting destroyed by him, so.
Oh, I think I saw something. I don't think it'd be in the weekly wrap up. Have you seen all of the Tekken controversy?
Yes.
Holy shit.
The stage DLC in Heihachi.
That game has gone from everybody was so happy with it when it came out to everybody's pissed.
Oh, they've been backtracking just this week.
Didn't they give everyone the money for the DLC?
Yes, they gave people currency for the DLC.
I thought that's what I was going to bring up. I thought I saw an article that said that.
Well, no, let me take that back. I don't know if it was actually currency for the DLC, but they're backtracking on the DLC. And
they didn't change the price of it. They gave people either the money or the currency, whatever it was, to be able to purchase it
Yes,
themselves.
so everyone could have it, at least during this current run. If you try and log on here in like a month, you probably won't get it.
But yeah, that has been
That's been wild.
I've just been like on the outskirts seeing it, and then I've read a few things about it. Holy hell! Talk about when the game came out to now.
Yeah.
It was like universal praise to universal hatred.
I mean, it's been solid for every DLC release because, I mean, even the Heihachi stuff, I mean, he's been sort of a small thing with it and just his stuff and whatnot, but the stage DLC was the big thing.
Well, yeah, because do you see the like some of the statement they put out with it? With when the controversy started hitting, was they were like, well, the previous one that we gave away for free, that was the exception.
Yeah.
It's like this is what we were planning on doing, even to the point where I think they've. Oh well, what's Harada?
Yeah.
I think Harada made a statement. He was like, paraphrasing this from memory, something along the lines of, essentially like, almost not necessarily an apology, but kind of an apology statement of like, he felt like he was doing players or the community a disservice by not like actively pushing back against something that against like the paid stage and stuff like that, of like, of course players aren't gonna like that when we've already given them something for free.
Yeah.
And trying to essentially say like probably should have done a little more to try to push back on that.
Because, I mean, I just seen the contract. How much was the actual stage?
I think it was like $5.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. I mean, just players in general, we, as a community of just game players and whatnot, most people dislike paying any kind of microtransaction for DLC content. This has just been an issue for years, and just people actually hate it. People have accepted for like bundles, characters, and then gacha game microtransactions. But there's always a limit at some point for like a single stage.
Well, the other problem with it is, like a lot of fighting games, stages are like
Free.
well, stages are free, but also like first Street Fighter, in like some of the stages in like 2D fighting games and stuff like that, you're essentially just you're picking what your background is.
Yeah.
Tekken, since it's a 3D arena, the stages matter
A little bit more.
They matter a lot more because it's like the size of the stage. Some combo strings only work on certain stages.
Yeah.
And part of the controversy was the fact that even if you paid for the DLC stage and you had the stage, if you went online, you were rolling the dice if you were even going to be able to get that stage, because both players in the match had to own the stage for it to be in the selection.
Yeah.
So it's like you couldn't. It's like you couldn't, even if you bought it, you couldn't play on it if other people didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild because most games these days, if one person owns something,
It allows for the other person access.
It allows access to other people because it's been purchased.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's also a crazy thing.
It is. I mean, just overall, it's an overall interesting thing because, I mean, some people probably didn't like the $5, but the definite thing of both people having to have access to the stage is a wild thing. I mean,
also, it's weird to give to release a free one to give everyone, and then because that sets the expectation.
Yes, it does.
And then going back and trying to charge people afterwards. It's like if you want to set the expectation that
do it at the beginning.
DLC or like stages that come after the fact or characters that come after the fact, you're going to have to pay for. You cannot give the first one away free because then you set the expectation that they don't have to pay.
Or state like what they did with Tekken 6, and there was the character Elysia. She came as a pre-order bonus for the game. Besides that pre-order bonus, she cost, I think it was like $5-10.
Yeah. It's been crazy to see like Tekken go for, like I said, from universal praise when the game released to it's hard to find people talking good about it.
Because of this stage controversy, yes.
But so I don't know. Maybe we'll see some good stuff coming out from Tekken, or like some positive news coming out of him.
I mean,
in the coming months.
I mean, honestly, this is going to be a passing thing. It's probably going to be a thing that's going to stick for a while, but it is honestly a passing thing, and hopefully they don't.
It's going to be
screw up again.
It's going to be a little bit of a black cloud hanging over them until like people until they either, because if they have to reset expectations now and then actually stick to them to gain the trust back.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not a massive black cloud, but it is a small one that's hanging over where it's just left a bad taste in everyone who plays the game's mouth.
Currently, yes. Yeah, that was just wonderful news because that popped off very early this week.
Yeah.
You know what people would have been happy about though? Even if they didn't give us the stage free, if they just released Waffle House.
I don't have context.
So for a long time, the Tekken community has been asking Harada and the team to make Waffle House a stage in Tekken.
Sure.
To the point, there was a moment where Harada actually went on Twitter and went, "Why would a Waffle House be in the Tekken universe?" And then Harada trying to explain to people why they more than likely could not have a Waffle House in the game.
Sure.
It's just,
it's
just one of those weird things for the Tekken community where they just wanted a Waffle House.
I don't know. It's weird. It's one of those. It's kind of weird to hear that, but at the same time, if someone is gonna respond to like a weird request like that, I'm not surprised it's Harada.
Yeah. Harada's pretty in tune with the community and at least tries to communicate and stuff like that. Well, I don't have anything else to add on.
You want to kind of jump into weekly wrap-up stuff?
Probably hit on that. Hey, question, John, before we hit the weekly wrap-up. You want to do the game of the week, or you want me to do game of the week? Because it's technically Alex's week, but he can't do it.
Oh, I could probably find something. I was not prepared, but I can look something up.
That's why I said I'd ask now before we start weekly wrap-up. Starting with the weekly wrap-up, the fantastic happenings of this weekend, the Pokemon leaks. So this is going to be a fun one, everybody. So Game Freak got hacked in what is potentially the biggest scale leak in gaming history. So source codes for old games are taken, scrapped designs, beta designs for Pokemon, characters, and regions, unannounced canceled movie/TV info, including a Detective Pikachu 2. A fun fact from X and Y, there was apparently a create a gem system for online play at one point, which was removed. One of the biggest factors is source codes for Pokemon Legends ZA and Gen 10 are in the hackers' hands, but they claim they won't release images, source code, or anything substantial with those. So, I mean, I guess slight kudos to the hacker that they're not just going to throw that out there. So maybe the Nintendo lawyers will be a little more lenient. I doubt it, but hey. But they did say that Gen 10 was apparently going to be on an archipelago of islands and inspired by Greece. Now, the fun fact, which is everyone's attached to with the leaks with this, is there was some stories that came out with the leaks, which are assumed to be written by Game Freak, which features a lot of mythos and strange lore stuff involving Pokemon and human relationships, and a bunch of very strange stories.
It's kind of that's what everybody has attached to.
Yeah,
it's like it's a lot. It's one of those things where it's like there's a lot bigger information out there, but it's the weird stuff that people latch onto.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Typhlosion has now joined the respected camp of Pokemon you do not look at it the same anymore. Even though it's not the only Pokemon in these stories, but that's the one people have attached to.
I think it's the one that we got the most complete story of.
Yeah, I believe you're right, yes.
Yeah, it's the one where the more information came out on it, and we got more of the actual like complete version of it.
And of course, at this time, Game Freak, Nintendo, and Pokemon have begun to make moves to remove and get stuff taken off the internet that is technically confidential and whatnot. Overall, what a wondrous set of leaks this person has released in terms of games and other stuff that could have been, and as far as we're aware, going to be. In terms of the wondrous stories, I would say if you're very interested, go look them up, but be warned. They are very turned towards like mythos. Think like ancient mythos, which have some very messed up themes at times, and maybe scratching on the surface of furry fanfics. So yeah, look those up and read those at your own leisure if you are willing to dive into that and take that as your own opinions.
Yeah, and other thing is it's like, yes, this is a massive leak, and like as much as can be confirmed, everything is accurate.
Yep.
And especially like since Nintendo and like Pokemon Company and everybody are actively trying to get the information down. As far as like a lot of the stories and stuff that have come out, like in about like Pokemon and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, you can go look that up if you want to. As far as any leaks referring to potential or like games and stuff like that, I would say probably all going like true and probably going to happen, but subject to change at the current
this time.
So even though that information appears to be accurate as of right now, it could change still.
But it gives us at least a glimpse of what we might hope for Gen 10. That's the biggest thing I take out of it, honestly, is possible glimpse of what the region may end up being a bunch of islands again. Because wasn't Sun and Moon also islands? Because it was based off Hawaii.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of Gen 7.
That's fair.
I think it was various islands, but I don't remember entirely. It's been a little bit since I played Gen 7.
On the other end of Nintendo, we got Super Mario Party Jamboree that came out. It is the highest rated Mario Party game to date with a Metacritic of an 82. Lots of 9s and 10s and 8s and 10s. Very few, or 9s out of 10s and 8 out of 10s with few perfect scores. Alex here left that he got it, played it. He had a blast. He was happy to see some returning games and new games. And then he goes on and rants about how the first game had natural Mario Party shenanigans and what he enjoyed it. And he and his girlfriend were screaming at the instructions that ensued with a Mario Party game. Overall, he had a fun time. I mean, from what I've seen, it looks like a very solid Mario Party. We're definitely back to the age of what everyone played growing up on Mario Parties, and we can leave 10 behind and enjoy everything going forward.
Yeah.
It's a nice little mix of All-Stars, which was a retro one, bringing back a bunch of old games and maps, to a one that still has some retro older games and maps brought back up, but they also took the time to make a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, it's just good to hear that new Mario Party still feels like old Mario Party.
Yes.
Instead of new Mario Party being weird and doesn't feel the same.
And no longer being a friendship-breaking game and being a, why are we in this car together?
Yeah.
Sean Layden, former head of PlayStation, says he thinks there's a collapse of creativity in the gaming industry. Some things that he says: relying on blockbusters is a death sentence. AA is gone, which is a threat to the ecosystem. Fighting over teraflops when it's not needed to fight over. Says if he's pitched a game and first 2 pages are about monetization, revenue and subs, he's out. First page needs to be this game needs made, and here's why. AI is not a savior to game development, and it's not necessarily new anyway. Ended his whole spiel with AMD won the power race. So more or less it's its own personal opinion and rant of why gaming as an industry is going down, and possibly saying that as time goes on, we're going to just see more and more lackluster games overall across the board in his mind.
Yeah, I do. There are a few things that like in here that I kind of agree with.
Yeah,
And
I'm the
it's like,
same.
it's like the one thing I would the one aspect I would kind of start to disagree with is AA is gone,
Yeah.
because maybe AA as we knew it was gone.
It's probably changed, yes.
Or yeah, maybe not necessarily gone, but the landscape has definitely changed. But I would say more than ever, smaller studios and indie devs are getting more recognition, and their games are becoming more and more popular.
Yes.
So yeah, while AAA games I'd say for the vast majority have been like more of not necessarily a disappointment, but not the games we remember AAA games being.
Yes.
There are still we still get a couple games every year from AAA studios that are just what
We're hoping and expecting for.
what should be labeled as a AAA game.
Yes.
But yeah, as far as like games being pitched and people worrying about monetization, yeah, I mean, very clearly that is a large direction that has been
Gaining steam.
been gaining steam. More games are less about retaining players and more about just getting as much money as possible before players get bored.
And move on. Yeah, I mean, overall, this is a very interesting statement and everything that he released and everything, in which I'm in the same way, John. There's parts of it that I very much agree with, and then there's other parts I'm sort of on the fence about, just because, I mean, I don't have nearly as much knowledge as I would hope he has in terms of retrospect in the gaming industry and how things work and whatnot. At least from a consumer point of view, the fact that a lot of game pitches are starting out with how to monetize and whatnot is sort of an issue from a consumer's point of view and worrying, versus, as he says, should be, here's this game and why and how we should make it. You would hope would be the initial pitch in terms of a consumer point of view and just overall gamer, in terms of hoping to get a product that's actually fun and enjoyable.
Just as a little anecdote about just something I've seen in the last month or so, that just shows that the way people think about games these days is way different than it used to be. You know how many like YouTube shorts or little articles and stuff I've seen that have basically been, or the title has been along the lines of Black Myth Wukong is dead, or Black Myth Wukong is dying, and it's because the game was popping off with 1.5 million players playing for like a month.
Yeah.
And then it's gone down, and it's like, instead of it being like 1 million, now it's like 120,000 or something. It's like, I see titles that are like Black Myth Wukong player base has died off by like 85%. And it's like, yeah, it's a single player game. People beat it.
I was about to say, that's a natural reaction. It's a single player game with very little, well, I mean, not necessarily very little replayability, but not like a recurring replayability like a roguelite or whatnot. I mean, it's a single player game with a single player story, which has a ending and finishing of content.
Yeah, it's just one of those where it's like the way people think about games nowadays. It's like everybody thinks a game has to come out and you have to be able to play it forever. It's like, no, games come out and it's like single player game comes out, and it's like you play the game, you beat it. If you really enjoy it, you beat it until there's nothing left to do in the game.
Yeah,
and then you set it down and you had your fun with it and you move on. But people forget that, and it's like people have completely forgotten that. They expect it's like they're like, oh, this game came out and I played through and I 100%ed it. Why is there nothing left to do? It's like, well, that's what a game is.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of wild how people think it's that for a game to be successful, you have to be able to maintain a flow of player base across, I assume, like a span of like half a year, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. It's just, I've been seeing those and I'm like, man, the way people think about it these days is so wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wanted to bring that in during this point because I thought it kind of fit in pretty good there.
I mean, it does. And I mean, it's very much sort of aids to this point of what he's saying. It's just the industry itself has had a change in terms of what we expect of AAA games, which I don't know, say whether it's actually going to like full on collapse of creativity. Because as you said, there's now with how gaming is, there's very much a platform for indies and solo developers to be able to get their games out there to help motivate the creativity. But it may just be on the higher end or AAA game side where I would be in agreement where a lot of gamers would say creativity has died, and we do see a lot of the same AAA game. And Alex has come in with his top knot looking all fanciful with his beard like he owns the place or something like that.
Man, you were way nicer than I would have been.
I mean, I was talking, you can hit him too if you want. I don't care.
No.
This is what it's like over here.
You never said you were going to be here. You're not
I didn't know
supposed
I
to be here.
was. I didn't know I was. Thought I'd come say hi. I haven't seen you guys in like 2 weeks.
Is this the first time you're going to be on a pre-recorded one?
In a while, yeah.
Okay.
It's been a hot minute. I can't remember the last time I was on a pre-recorded show. I get not counting terrible wrestling show. Shout out, by the way, go check it out. But in terms of Gamestead, I don't remember the last time we did a pre-record.
Yeah. We were actually just mentioning the whole statement from the previous head of PlayStation, how the creativity of gaming is collapsing.
Yeah, it's something I feel like we've talked about a lot, especially on John's front, talking about remakes and shit. No creativity in the world, right?
Yeah, and I was more or less just saying how it seems like that from the top end of the spectrum versus something John mentioned just allows indies and single developers platforms to
that's what I said. It's
thrive.
Like, the only thing I mentioned I would slightly push back on is double A. Double A is dead. I wouldn't say dead. It's just changed,
I would agree to that.
and it's just not the way that it used to be.
Right. I would agree to that. You know, I feel like the double A's that you see come out, you know, doesn't happen very often. When they do,
No.
it's like, I mean, when they do, they kind of pop off, you know? I mean, we got
Quite a few of them do.
yeah, I mean, we got Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, Plucky Squire, I'd say that's double A. It did really well for itself. Very fun, by the way. You know, I feel like it's there, but I'd say it's changed, not dead. It does feel like it's dying, though, because everyone's trying to do the big blockbuster.
And that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
It's very much a change of view of how people view the gaming industry in terms of consumer versus developer.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 coming to PC in January, and no story content DLC is planned for the game.
Boo.
Big whoop for you and John.
Boo.
And you had a question: did the leak destroy those chances? DLC per leak was
I say yes.
Beetle, Carnage, and Spider-Verse.
I say yes. Like, you had a full map planned out.
Yeah.
You teased Carnage in the game. You teased Chameleon, which I know Chameleon wouldn't be involved with those necessarily. Maybe something with Beetle, sure. Chameleon's probably next game, but it's just like you very much teased the Spider-Verse thing with all the Spider-Bot anomalies throughout the game, with a direct character that was supposed to be in the second Spider-Verse movie, and now it's just all canned. I don't know.
Well, it could very well have just been because we've seen a couple times where they'll start working on something for the game and then realize, oh, well, we could release this as DLC, but we have more we want to do with it, so why not just not put it out as DLC and just save that and put it into the next game?
Again, like with Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be like as they had the ideas for doing it, and then when discussions kept going on, it could have just been, they could have just expanded upon it and been like, well, we could just do a whole section of the game based around this.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think the Carnage thing, I think that'll just get saved for the leaked, assuming it's still happening, Venom spinoff. But everything else, that's where I'm just like, where's that going to all fit in? Because I would love to see Beetle. That'd be cool. No one talks about Beetle. Beetle hadn't been in a game since the Ultimate Spider-Man game. Like, let's get Beetle. That'd be cool. But
I'd rather have the tech.
Okay, relax.
Some Bandai news. Sparking Zero sold over 3 million copies in 24 hours, which is a fantastic for a Dragon Ball Z fighting game.
Shut up.
Goku Daima will be added to Xenoverse 2. Once again, more DLC for Xenoverse 2.
The real superior Dragon Ball game.
Apparently,
Right.
seeing as Xenoverse has been thriving for, almost a decade?
Yeah, doesn't die. doesn't die. And I think they even have more content coming from Daima.
Sparking Zero Daima content also planned with Vegeta Mini. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 from Superhero planned for Sparking Zero. A new Death Note game coming. Appeared on ratings board called Death Note Killer with the end. There's been a Death Note game?
See, I don't know if there's, I think probably over in Japan, yeah, but there's now this new one coming.
What the hell would you do in a Death Note game?
I was trying to figure it out.
So I saw a comment that I thought was pretty funny where it's just the whole game is just two people trying to get the other one to dox each other. And I'm like, that's probably the game.
It's just
So it's a game of deductive social deduction?
Probably. That's my guess. I have no idea. I like Death Note.
I mean, we had
I'm-
Crime Site for that, but Bondi killed Crime Site.
Well, now
That's
we
'cause
have
they had to
Death
make
Note Killer
room for
Within.
Death Note.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds fun. Like, I'll play a Death Note game.
I don't know if I would, because I don't know what the hell I would be doing.
yeah,
Trying to
I don't-
dox each other.
yeah,
It's
that
just a
doesn't-
VR game,
Doesn't
and it's
sound
just
like
you-
a fun game if I'm honest.
It's probably not.
It's just
probably not.
It's just a VR game. You're sitting at your desk, just writing names into it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's probably something along those lines.
The Death Note game will just be like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Bondi facing layoffs and canceled projects. Canceled/paused projects includes games from One Piece, Naruto, and a Nintendo collab.
Rip.
Anime games suffering.
Yep.
Okay. Terrible that they're facing layoffs
Yes.
and projects being canceled.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't necessarily think we're going to be missing a One Piece or Naruto game.
No, probably not.
I mean, come on. All right, hold on.
Okay.
Are you going to be missing
Are you
them,
buying
Alex?
these One Piece and Naruto games?
I mean, I bought One Piece Odyssey.
Did you buy all the other One Piece games?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them never came into the West.
I wasn't really into One Piece then, right? You know, I'm still newer to One Piece. I binge read the entire manga in 2 weeks.
You
telling
telling me they released another Naruto Arena Fighter, and you're gonna get excited and buy it?
No, I'm not. Well, it depends. If it's a new game in some capacity, yes. If you put out another Naruto to Boruto Storm Connections that's dog shit, then no, I don't give a fuck.
That's probably what it was.
It probably
It's
was.
going
yeah.
to be what it
Yeah,
is.
Probably what it was.
I'm assuming that's what it is.
I mean,
what it would
I would
be.
be cool
It's
to
either going to
see
be
them try
that or it's going to
something
be
new.
another mobile gotcha game.
I mean, that's also accurate.
So I'm
yeah.
like, it's terrible that this news is happening, but if games were gonna be cut,
Did you finish Odyssey?
No, Christina did. I did not, though.
Okay.
It is fun.
At least someone in the household finished it.
Yeah, she's finished it twice, actually.
Okay.
And she actually bought it just this year for Switch when it came out this year. So shout out to that.
All right. Resident Evil 9 appeared early on Metacritic announcement soonish. Maybe.
How does that happen? How does it appear on Metacritic?
The same way Canada Walmart and shows off a game you can pre-order.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, though. But how does it appear on Metacritic early? I don't understand that
The same intern.
one. Same intern. Okay. Same guy. Got fired at Walmart. Now he's doing the same shit at Metacritic. Got it.
Limited Run Games will be releasing a Classics edition for Yakuza 0 to 6 with a nice little game sleeve to hold all your games.
You picking this up?
Maybe.
I got to tell you, like the side, the spines, that looks so sick. Like,
From the pictures you sent me, it did look actually really good.
like I'm not even a Yakuza guy, and I want this. Like, I just think it looks cool. Like, I can see that on my shelf right now.
Yes.
Like, I just love it. I think it looks cool.
Former dev on Halo BR says it could have been a game changer for the property.
I'm gonna slightly push back on that.
You're fair to do
This
so.
this is one man's opinion for content we never saw as gamers.
Right.
I
Yep.
know, but it's like main reason that I would push back on him saying the BR would be a game changer for the property is one, I think people are kind of getting over BRs.
I think that phase kind of.
Oh, VR has definitely passed.
BR as a genre is past. It's the juggernauts that survive, and it's because people like the game, not the genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think a BR at this point is pushing a game to new heights.
Mm-hmm.
IO Interactive. Did you have anything else, John?
No.
All right. IO Interactive CEO says development for the new James Bond game is going amazingly well and hopes it could become a trilogy.
That's cool.
When's the last time we had a James Bond game?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I want to say Xbox PS2 era.
That's my guess.
That's where I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe we had one in the 360
Because I
era.
feel like it was the Pierce Bronson
No,
games.
I think I think 360 era would have just been like a port.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Because I mean, the only most recent one is there was a recent GoldenEye port up.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like what we said whenever the announcement for this came out. I mean, if there's any studio to do this, it'd be IO,
Yeah.
you know, with the Hitman games. So, I mean, that's exciting. You know, if it is going amazing well, that's cool.
I'd be very curious to see a modern day James Bond game.
True.
That's what I was trying to think. I was like, I think I don't like, depending on how the game is, like attaching James Bond to it probably helps.
Yeah.
Just to have
I would
something
say
to
so.
it. Because if you made depending on what type of game it is, if you just attached like a new IP to it, it may not catch on as good. You throw James Bond on there, and at least people have somewhat of an idea of what they'd be doing.
I mean, they have like a inkling in the back of the head of what they would expect to do. I mean, and just by throwing the James Bond name on it, you get the Harry Potter effect. And
I was just about to say, it's like Hogwarts Legacy.
I mean, people will at least be looking at it.
Yeah, because it's like I do appreciate sometimes when they do that. Like I'm more interested in the idea of this because they put James Bond on it because I'm curious of what they would do with it.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of being like, we're gonna put this franchise on it just so it sells.
See, my hope with it is just because it's been so long since we've had a James Bond film, there would be a separate from a film and not a film tie-in.
Yeah.
For Alex, Banjo-Tooie is coming to NSO.
Let's go.
More YGO games announced for early days collection. Full list: Duel Monsters, Duel Monsters 2, Dark Duel Stories, Duel Monsters 4, Battle of Great Duelists, Duel Monsters 6, Expert 2, Eternal Duelist Soul, Sacred Cards, Reshift of Destruction. Do you know what any of these are?
Yeah. Not
Do
the
you know what
not
any
the
of
very
these-
last one. No, I don't remember that one.
I know what some of these are.
I have no clue what any of these are.
Yeah, no. Like Sacred Cards, I had that game. Eternal Duelist Soul, I had that one, and I did have one of the Game Boy Color games, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
The
I-
one that
I
I'm
had
waiting on is like the Battle City based one. It had like a blue label on the cartridge. I'm drawing the biggest blank on the name.
Wasn't it just called Battle City?
I think
No.
It was something like that though.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. But that one was my favorite GBA game. So I'm hoping that one gets added because they keep specifying and more, and more, and more. Even after this, after they added these 3 GBA games, they keep saying and more. So I'm hoping that one will be on the list.
And as
'cause
Alex was saying, more games apparently coming February 27th.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's when the game comes out.
Yeah, because I had a couple of these. I don't know which ones I had.
Yeah. No, that's actually something I want to pick up. I think that'd be a fun Switch title to have.
I would probably pick it up just for the sake of having it.
Yeah, true.
Destiny news.
Woo!
So, Destiny Rising was announced, new mobile RPG shooter in the Destinyverse, developed by Netverse.
Did you guys watch this?
Nope.
I didn't watch the trailer. No, what does it look
It
like?
actually looks kind of
Does it?
crazy.
What they need, a new game, not a DLC.
Right.
I mean, it looks kind of crazy. It looks like subclasses that aren't a part of like Destiny 2 or anything. Yeah, just it looks like Destiny with flashy new stuff.
So it piqued your interest in Destiny.
I mean, it looks cool. It doesn't necessarily make me want to go play it.
Okay.
But it definitely looks cool.
Well, I mean, shout out to that. Maybe you can get some Destiny players in on the mobile, which then can help feed them to the original game, the other game. So
Nope.
no, probably not. But
Probably the other way. People be going to it.
I mean,
look for
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
That's who they're going to be bringing into it.
Also in NetEasy's wheelhouse, announced Marvel Mystic Mayhem, a mobile turn-based RPG.
I saw images of this. I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I want to watch
I've
the
just seen
trailer.
images.
Yeah, that's all I've seen. I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I am curious.
Rumor, Marvel Studios is making their first official MCU game. To clarify, it'd be a game based in the MCU, not a game based on a MCU movie show like the MCU Phase 1 movie tie-in games.
That'd be really interesting. I'd be real curious how they went about this. Like a hero they haven't done a show or a movie on yet.
That
you
would
know?
be my question of
That
what
would
they're
be-
selecting.
And that would be my guess what they would do. Like if you're doing an MCU game based in the MCU, like they are an important character to the MCU universe.
Yeah.
Like the game that is, I feel like you would just do a new character you haven't done. But You may also just do one on like, someone that's already in the MCU. I don't know. Or
it's a game based in the MCU, not necessarily a character of the MCU.
So what?
Or a new character. So maybe while some of these crazy battles are going on, you are a policeman trying to save.
There it is. That's where I was going with it too.
I was just about to think, are you about to say you're going to be a civilian?
You are
trying to survive.
You are an everyday man trying to survive the crazy battles that are going on.
That's literally how we got Vulture and Spider-Man.
Yeah. Imagine that. It's like you're a character. You're just a cop.
Yeah.
Who's trying to survive, and you're having to fight off aliens and stuff.
Right.
At the end of the movie, maybe you meet someone and get some crazy tech.
Right. It's possible.
Or maybe you just become your own villain entirely.
Also possible. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I could see happening for this is I could see like periods of time in the MCU that we have not seen but know about. I could see that maybe like being a game,
Probably.
in some capacity. Because I know this is not an example of what could be the game, because I don't think this would be kind of a weak game in my opinion. But something people still want to see to this day as like a Disney Plus show is Steve Rogers' journey, putting back all the stones.
Yeah.
People still would love to see that in a show format. I'm not saying that'd be a good game, but just something like that. Something like we know that takes place.
Him and his romance with Agent Carter.
Basically. Like something we know that takes place, but we haven't seen.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility.
Okay, hear me out. That in the style of a Telltale game.
Now, that'd be sick.
That'd actually be nice.
See, look, if we'd want to tell Steve Rogers' story in a video game format, put Matt the Stones, make it like that. That'd be cool. I'm here for that. So
Okay.
we'll see what they do.
Then we have in the Until Dawn film releasing April 25th of 25.
Very excited for that.
Have they even announced the cast for this?
Actually, yes, and it's not the cast.
I would sort of assume it's not going to be the actual Until
Yeah.
Dawn cast.
Which I don't know why. I mean, you got some solid actors in there. And
I mean, they
actresses.
are.
I mean, but yeah, no.
And you even 3D modeled their bodies in the game.
Yeah,
So
no, I do not think the cast was announced, and it's not them. I do know that.
When I read this earlier, I didn't see it said film.
You thought it was a new game,
I just assumed they were releasing Until Dawn again.
even though they just did it.
to make up for the crap release that was a PC port.
Yeah, people were. Well, it's like I don't know what Sony was expecting. Until Dawn's a fantastic game.
Yes.
One of my favorite games, like ever. Love that game. But it's like it's a remake of a game we've played, and you're putting it like $60, and it's like that's cool, but it's come out within the last 8 years, right?
Yeah.
And you're releasing it alongside juggernauts like Silent Hill 2. That's one of the most historically claimed games in history.
Which is done fantastic.
Remake, yes, but that's kind of a deserved remake because it's old. You
Yes,
know
it's
what I mean?
really old.
So it's like, Sony, baby, what were you expecting? Until Dawn's not going to have a lot of players on Steam. They're busy playing other shit. There's other things to play. You got Metaphor, you got Dragon Ball, both breaking records in numbers, and you got Silent Hill Remake. I mean, why are you going to pick Until Dawn over those three? That's Sony. What were you expecting?
And then in just a week's time, we got the Veilguard coming out.
I know. Excited for that, too.
Nintendo Museum apparently uses PC emulation to pay older games based off someone unplugging a controller and getting the trademark's PC set.
Yep. I saw the video of it. It was a Super Nintendo game. I think it was Super Mario World. And he unplugged the Super Nintendo, and it gave that trademark boop, control, whenever you plug in or unplug something. And I laugh my ass off about this with how much they fight emulation, and they're using emulators. That's hilarious.
Super Nintendo World Epic University in Orlando set to open May 22nd, 25 in time for Memorial Day.
I cannot even imagine what that city's going to be like that weekend. I messaged Andy about this, and he's just like, dude,
You're going to be there, right?
oh no. Oh no!
You don't want to go to opening
No,
day.
no.
You don't want to be in a crowd of 50,000.
No, yeah. Andy's just like, yeah, I saw the news, super exciting, but Jesus Christ, of all weekends,
He's going to hate his weekend. He's probably going to hate that whole month.
dude, that's gonna Orlando's just gonna be flooded for weeks because of that. Obviously months, but like that Memorial Day, people
With
are
people, not water.
yes, let's clarify that, please. But just Memorial Day weekend, brand new park opening. You got How to Train Your Dragon. You got a new Harry Potter world. You got Super Nintendo World. You got flying dragons in the fucking sky, dude. like Memorial Day weekend, I can't imagine how many people are going to be there.
Yeah.
I will not be there. I assure you. I will be there in like October.
You're not a real fan.
You're right. I'm not. I'm a bitch.
Well, with that wraps up game of the or not weekly wrap up. You got anything to add, Alex?
No, I'm not going to go long-winded on things. So
Hey, fun fact: Alex is here now.
That's what I was gonna say.
know.
Guess
Hey,
whose
Alex,
turn of game of the week
Gamestetic
is?
Game of the week.
well, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I saw you guys' cars, so I'm like, I guess I'll go say hi. I can let them off of
I've got
Gamestetic Game of the
something
Week.
if you want.
No,
me to.
I'll throw something out there. I will say this: the one I thought to throw out because I was racking my brains. Oh, they're probably gonna throw it to me. I think this is gonna be one of the few like real big notable titles we've done. We don't do a lot of big. We really don't. We keep it more like kind of like low key and stuff. But I'm kind of on the spot here, so I'm gonna throw something out there. I'm gonna throw out Persona 4 Golden.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, like, obviously Persona 5, took the Persona to even more heights than it's already been. And a lot of players like myself may have started with Persona 5 and may not want to go backwards. You know what I mean? That's a real thing that happens in gaming, is not wanting to go back when you play the newer version. So I want to do Persona 4 Golden because even though it's in that PS Vita style, it was actually, so for me, it was the third game I played. Played Persona 5 Royal, played Persona 3 Reload, and then I went to Golden. So quite the downgrade in graphics, gameplay, whatever. Still fantastic. And that's why I want to make a game of the week, because like in terms of like story and stuff, it's my second favorite behind Royal. Persona 3 is fun. I get all the hype, but Persona 4 Golden with the whole murder mystery around it, the vibe, the eerie vibe, the fog days where there's no music, that is such a nice touch. All of the music cues and everything throughout the game is fantastic. Yeah, do you feel the age in it at times?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's still PS Vita graphics, but I wanted to make Gamestetic Game of the Week because it's like, even if you've played the remake this year and you've played 5 and all the 5 spin-off games, but you still haven't played 4 because maybe you're holding out for the remake someday, go ahead and play 4. It's fantastic. The story is great. The characters are fantastic. And the gameplay, while yes, does feel aged, it's not horribly aged. It's still like, I played it earlier this year on the Switch. Had a fantastic time. Loved every second of it. So that's Gamestetic Game of the Week, Persona 4 Golden. Shout out.
Alrighty. Well, I think that'll wrap us up unless anyone's got anything else.
No. Shout out to Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's fantastic.
Alrighty then. We will go in a weird order this week. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Leave a comment about any of the wonder stuff we've talked about today, because I don't remember half of it, so let me know what we talked about.
Yeah, everything he said and more. And if you like what you saw with us, we most of the time do these episodes live on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. We will not be doing one next week.
Yeah.
But we'll be back the week after that, potentially talking about Dragon Age: The Veilguard. So if you want to hear about our opinions on that, come check us out then.
And last but not least, Alex.
Yeah, looking forward to being back live after a couple weeks pre-record, plus the break next week where we get to hang out with our sources for Orlando stuff. So shout out to that. But yeah, back live on, I think was the 2nd, November 2nd, which I will at least be doing some Dragon Age talk because I do have it pre-ordered. It's already paid off, ready to pick it up that Thursday. Looking forward to playing it. It's going to be great. Make sure to check us out at our Patreon down in the description below, as well as Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. You can use promo code Sparky3 over at Rogue Energy to get 10% off your order, but just use it for a link and you help us out. Join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend. Until next time, that's it. Bye.